You are now listening to CTR Media Network.
The family. CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above all. Never lasting, motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions that you're asking. Serious talks and topics, how to come up and profit, how to better yourself, your health is here, we got it. Reaching 350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like-minded, find your purpose and your assignment. Come get your fix, your feel, your mental alignment. Get active and speak to the masses. Build your influence all levels and all classes. Now you know you can monetize and grow. CTR Media Network. Start the show. CTR Media Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to CTR Media Network Podcast TV, the place where content meets impact. Today, family, CTR Nation, we have an awesome guest. She is someone who embodies the transformation, the resilience, and the results that you are looking for. From struggling single mom on food stamps to becoming an international public speaker who has graced more than 2,400 stages in 17 countries. She is living proof that your story can shift your destiny. She doesn't just inspire, she equips. She shows entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and visionaries how to turn their message into a movement and their voice into a revenue-generating business. She's a mentor, a trainer, a powerhouse, a woman who has built a thriving life, and get this, while raising, 6 children and running a business with her husband. Please help me welcome, without further ado, the amazing Marianne Hickman.
Hey, how's it going? Dude, that was a cool intro. I just need to take it with me everywhere I go, man. Like walk into a coffee shop. Hey, everybody.
Well, I am so happy that you are here today because for the simple fact is we have so many moms that do watch the show and they want something different and they just don't know how, or I would say they don't feel that it can happen for them. And your story is so inspirational in itself. And so I'm just excited about getting to dig in on this particular topic. So when I think about how you started in the beginning, what was it that was that defining moment when you decided that you were no longer going to settle for what you was currently having, like being in survival mode, and that you was going to thrive?
Have you ever driven alone somewhere and just had a conversation with God in your front seat?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like those moments. I remember a very, very specific moment. I was driving northbound. If anyone knows Utah, it was northbound I-15. It was right by Utah Valley University. The bridge was under construction. And I started having this conversation. I didn't have any results to back anything up at that point, right? Like my bank account was a wreck. I was overweight. I was staring down the barrel of divorce pretty soon, you know, and I had at the time 5 kids, so much debt up to my eyeballs. I was drowning in it, which is weird. How can you drown in a negative? But regardless, so it just, the thing is that I had told this story out loud to myself so many times. I'd complained about it so many times. Just, why is my life so hard? Why is it like this? Why am I struggling to pay for gas? Why am I, all the food stamps card in my pocket is so embarrassing to pull out at the checkout because the person behind me that's paying taxes is paying for my meals and they don't even know. It's embarrassing. It's hard. And it felt just so unfair because I'm like, I'm a good person. I'm not out there destroying families. I'm not out there doing wrong. But why have I just not been able to figure out this game yet? Why have I not been able to figure out this game of money? Why is my, that I'm like moving money from my credit card through PayPal to my other bank account because I hadn't figured out how to bank. Like it was just, it was heavy and it was expensive and I didn't see a way out. And so I'm sitting there talking to God and I'm like, okay, I'm tired of complaining about this. And I don't know how to not have this, but I'm tired that this is my story. And so the thing I got back, and it was just this whole conversation. I don't know if it was God's voice or he was just putting a voice on repeat that I had heard before, because oftentimes we get answers to prayers through other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here he said, I just want you to act as if that's not a problem. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, just keep your eyes on the road, but in your mind's eye, close your eyes, open up your bank account on your phone and pretend that when you open it, there's $50,000 in there. And I was like, okay. And he's like, no, really, try it on, turn it up, see how it feels. And I was like, okay. Now I want you to go onto the bathroom scale and stand on it and see the number that you want to see. Okay. No, really, try, turn it up. Okay, fine. So I'm like driving down the road and all of these things. Imagine that you have the marriage that you want to have and all of these things and this wall, it's like a wall of gratitude just enveloped me like Stargate when walking through that portal. And I start to cry. Even though the results haven't matched yet, I just start to feel it. And I felt like a child complaining to their father, and their father just so patient and saying, it's okay, just take a deep breath. It's not as bad as you think it is. But this feeling of, I did it. And I put that in air quotes, I did it, just washed over me. Even though none of the results had matched yet. I'm still in the car, you guys. Like this is nothing has changed yet. And I did it. And here comes the question that God asked me, now what? You did it. So now what? What are you going to do? And I asked my facilitators this just last week when I was teaching. I said, all of those things that you want to do, that TED talk that you want to give, or that $10,000 check that you want to collect for speaking, what are you going to do the next day after you get it? What would you do the very next day after you get it? And one of my friends said the same thing. She's like, I would express gratitude. And I was like, okay, but that's great. Keep that. And what's the action that you're going to take with that gratitude? And just pretending that moment where I pretended as if I'd already got there and then did the very next thing. Well, I would speak more. I would probably start a YouTube channel. I would, just breathe a sigh of relief. And God's like, start doing that now. Start doing that now. And that moment, it seems so mundane when I'm just sitting in the car by myself. But I will never forget it. I will never forget exactly where I was when I tried on for the first time, just feeling as if I had already achieved those milestones at the time. Now my milestones have gotten bigger as I've gone, but I keep trying this. I keep saying, what would it feel like if I had already done it? What's it going to feel like to say I own that island that I want to buy? I know it's a weird dream. What's it going to feel like to say I own that 600 acres up in Walsburg and have my ranch on there? What's it going to feel like when I get to heaven and I look behind me and God says, look at the impact. Look at how many people are better off because you taught speakers to teach them to be better people. And I'm not saying that because I need the credit. I don't. I just want to know I'm on the right track. Mm-hmm. That was the moment.
I love that because you had to place yourself in the environment. And most of the time I would say is the disconnect with people in general is that they are afraid or fearful to imagine. And so when you was taken into that imagination, because we lose it once we become an adult for some reason. It's like once we start getting bills and children, we're like, well, I can't imagine anymore. So I'm just saying that you on that drive, which was more than just a drive, it was really the transformational moment that you tapped into, that imagination that allowed you I would say you allowed yourself the freedom to think outside of your current situation. And from that, it took you on different things that you did not like, that you faced, that you wanted to change. And then in essence, it happened just the way you imagined it.
It's so, you put it so well. It's like you were riding in the car with me. The next day was not easy. It's not like it magically came and materialized. There was so much to do, but you heard this expression, choose your hard, right? Choose your hard. Being broke is hard. Working to get wealthy is also hard. They're both hard. Which one has the better result at the end of it, though? And it's not overnight. And anything that's worth growing requires so much gestation. But and I think, to your point, when we stop imagining, when we deny ourselves, it's a kind of a protective mechanism. It's what I believe it is we have gotten so used to not getting what we want. In other words, we've let ourselves down so often that we can't even trust ourselves. We can't trust ourselves to dream because there's this inner child inside of us that says, don't tell me that you're going to get this for me one day. Don't tell me about the car. Because you're not going to get it from me anyway. So I can't trust you. So don't dream. And that's dangerous.
It is. It's incredibly dangerous. And it creates that atmosphere within yourself of self-sabotaging. And most people, they do not connect that you have to imagine it, you have to manifest it, you have to change your complete mindset in order for things to happen. Your words hold power. It can actually help you or it can hold you back. And so you're right, based upon our experiences, things that we wanted to do that actually was able to come to fruition versus the things that haven't, will dictate whether or not we feel the freeness to dream, to imagine, to say, what if, and then what if this could actually happen for me? Because it's easy for people to say, oh, that's going to happen for Marianne, that happened for Tina, but I'm just a different person. No, it actually can happen for you as well. So this particular conversation is all about you as an adult, as a woman, or even a man. You have to start tapping into your childlike imagination.
Yeah, that's why we do vision boards, right?
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, you took yourself on, you took yourself out of survival mode into thriving mode. And it took some time, but you was able to do that. And so many of our listeners, which are podcasters, entrepreneurs, and I like to say everyday people doing extraordinary things. They're facing some of these challenging scenarios. It might not be exactly like yours, but it's their particular challenge. So how did your struggle that was yours, being a single mom, shape you in the way that drives you and it helps your message that you give out today?
Well, so whenever we encounter struggle, and none of us have ever graduated from struggle, by the way, I'm not sitting here saying I'll never, there's things I'm struggling with right now. And there are things I'll struggle with a year from now. I hear these mentors and these gurus that like, I never have any struggles again. I've conquered all of my limiting beliefs. I'm like, really? I don't believe you, first of all. This is my favorite tool in my toolbox. And it comes from a little bit of tough love. My dad was excellent at giving us tough love. And in fact, I would say our family motto was suck it up, buttercup. But really the energy behind that was, okay, but what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? If I remember when my ankle broke and it snapped in half, broke in 4 places. And I'm sitting there, the medic team is coming in. It was a whole scene, right? The ambulance and all these things. And we go to the hospital and do the surgery and stuff. And in the middle of the night, my 2-year, she wasn't even 2 yet. She was like maybe 8 months old. My daughter's still hungry. I'm nursing her at this point. I can't let my daughter go hungry, but I can't walk to go get her either. What am I going to do about it? Am I going to sit here and cry about it? Maybe for a good 30 seconds, I'll give myself a good cry. All right. I'm not saying stuff for your emotions, but how long do I need to cry until it's not productive anymore? Okay, good 30 seconds. I'm going to give it all I got. And then I'm going to get up and do something about it. So I'm crawling on my hands and knees. You should have seen me in the middle of the night. I'm crawling in there. I move a chair over to her crib. I crawl up on the chair and then I can like kind of give myself the armpit wedgie of a crib in my armpit and pick her up, feed her, and then put her back to bed. And then I crawl back to bed. What are we going to do about it? This is the tough love that few people in my world, a few people in maybe your world, and those who are listening world that are willing to give us is, okay, you've been complaining about this to me. What are you going to do about it? How many times are you going to tell this story over and over and over again? Because if you keep telling it, then there's part of you that's creating it. There's part of us that's stepping into this victimhood, and I get it. There's so much payoff to regurgitating a story that gets sympathy. And there's some dopamine and there's some serotonin that comes in. But comes a moment when you get sick and tired of giving that excuse. You get sick and tired of saying, I just don't have the money. You get sick and tired of saying, oh, this just won't happen to me. And the people that love you are going to look you in the eye and say, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to get up and do something about it? Or are you going to tell me the story one more time?
It's almost like you're in my mind. So I remember myself having that defining moment. In the same situation, it seemed like it was repeat on the hamster wheel. No matter, it doesn't matter that you're a good person. You did all the things that you say right. So why didn't it just go? I missed the execution on a lot of things for a long time, or I just didn't know the how. And I did not do enough research to get the how properly done. Because like you said,
join the club.
There are so many gurus that'll tell you, just do this and you will get the wealth. You will do the legacy. And I'm like, well, I did that. What happened? what happened? What? Like, oh, you didn't tell me I have to like really labor and do this work, right? So for me, I really get it. And it was a defining moment for myself. I wasn't in a car. However, I was in my house and I looked at all the things that I could do. And then I went and Googled other people that talked or spoke about what I speak about. Mm-hmm. And I started looking up the ones that are influencers that do what I was doing. And I was like, wait a minute, this person made how much? They charge how much? How long they been doing this? And how long have I been? I'm like, wait a minute. So I had to understand that it was a lack of confidence for me. Mm-hmm. I felt like I wasn't worthy, that I wasn't qualified enough, that, what would people think? Now I'm out here telling about my business. So for me, I had to do the self-work of building up my own self-esteem to build up my confidence to the level that I know I had the solution, but being confident enough to present it. And so when I'm thinking about this presenting, you have been able to literally take your message, tough love from your dad early on, and then take it onto the public stage and not just stage, I'm talking about stages. So how do you go from 0 stages to 2,400 stages, sharing and being so open and authentic about your journey, but also having that, listen, this is tough love. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Honey, you can have it, but you might get a little bit of bruise, a little dirt on you, but but if you want this life, this is what comes with this life. So how did you transition to these 2,400 stages and being able to generate income from it? Because there's a lot of people speaking on stages, but they don't make no money.
I know, it's a tragedy. It's just like artists that produce art and they don't make any money. That's a tragedy to me. It's not okay. So it first started with one stage. Every $1 million starts with your first dollar. Every 100 miles starts with the first mile. Every number of stages starts with the first stage. First stage I did. So this is a tip, and it's more than a tip. Tip doesn't do it justice. A tool, a technique, or whatever. I'm about to share with you a technique, but you have to go back and listen to what Dr. Tina just said, because if you don't, then you won't do this first step. If your mindset is like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not qualified, imposter syndrome, blah, 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 then what I'm about to say is not relevant at all. What you got to do is take your calendar out, block a day off, and then say, I'm going to do a presentation on this day, and not one just on Instagram. You got to invite people over to your house. I don't care if it's in your living room. I was living in a rental when I invited my first people over to my house to hear my keynote. Put it on the calendar, and then 2 weeks later, do it again. 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 I hope you're getting the picture. But guys, I got to tell you, the first time I did this, 0 people showed up. Nobody showed up. Not even my ex-husband, who I was married to at the time. Like, no one was there. Most people would say, okay, this is a sign from the universe. I shouldn't be doing this. I might as well. Anyone that would do that would say, okay, I'm just going to sit down, watch TV, or turn on Instagram and not give my keynote. And I said, no, I'm going to give my keynote anyway. First of all, there's no one here, so I, kind of can't mess up because no one's hearing me. But there was this other feeling of, the reason I got up to speak in the first place was because I felt that kick in the chest that said, I was at a seminar and something inside me said, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to be up there, not for the ego and not for the limelight, but there's a lot of lives that are depending on you and praying for who you're going to become. I'm going to say that again because it's going to hit some of you. There's a lot of people praying for who you're going to become, and you are one of them. So you got to get up and you got to start speaking. If you want to speak more, you got to speak more. So I delivered my keynote in an empty room. And then 2 weeks later, 3 people came, because this wasn't going to be my fault that the world didn't get my message. I had to deliver it. So next week, 3 people came, and all of them fell asleep. So relaxing, apparently. I don't know. All of them fell asleep in my living room. But I did it again. And then I rented out a library space. And then 12 people came to that one. And the library did it for me for free. There's a tip for all of you. And then I rented out this other building. And then I started attending more seminars, and I got in with more people. I got in the room where it all happens, right? As Hamilton says. And I started being invited to speak on stages. And then I started being invited to teach public speaking. People started asking me questions. So if we get discouraged, I'm going to say there's only a small window where you're allowed to live in that discouragement. I watched I see so much inspirational content on Instagram. I watched this rollerblader. She was probably no more than 9 years old. And she was in this race where they were skating laps around. I wish this was my story, but it's not my story. It's the story of this amazing princess who out the gate tripped and fell. She didn't get up until she was lapped by the other skaters. And I'm getting goosebumps just telling you this. I want to sit there with you. She got up and she started pushing off her skates and going and going and going. And like, there's the music going in the background, and then the tears are going down my face because I cry about stupid stuff like this. And she laps those other kids and flipping wins. Guys, like, I don't care if you fall down the first time. I don't care if other people are lapping you. They will. It's gonna happen. But you're gonna get up and you're gonna keep going. And the tears may be streaming down your face while you do it. And that is the stuff of legend, because believe me, your younger self is watching you. Your younger heart, your younger brain, that 7-year-old inside of you is watching you and flipping counting on you to be the fairy godmother or the fairy godfather that comes and gets them out of that scary hellhole that they've been sitting in for way too long.
I say it like this, and I 1000% agree with you. I feel strongly that every person on this earth has people that they are assigned to that only they can touch.
Yes.
I could say the same thing that you say, but it won't touch your people if the people that you're on assignment to help. The problem is most people, they are disconnected to find their purpose, and they are aimlessly they become a nomad of their own life because they won't move forward. Okay. And so with that, you speak a lot about your story. And so for the people who feel like they may not have a story or a signature speech, how can they even become or get to the point where they can discover, this is my signature speech, this is my impact for the world? Because I mean, if you're speaking other than for an impact, then you're doing it for the wrong reason. If you're just speaking just to give your own self just a pat on the back, I'm just telling you right now, you need to stop.
Yep. I'm with you.
You need to stop. The goal should be helping and being impactful to the people. And by default, you're gonna win when you lead with people first. So how can they discover their I would say their speech, their signature, their keynote when they don't even feel like they have anything to say? How
It's
can
funny.
they find it?
People often come up with, I don't have anything significant that's happened to me, or maybe my trauma is too traumatic. I was listening to Jeff Griffin, incredible guy, and he suffered a paralytic. He got paralyzed. He fell off a ladder, got paralyzed from the waist down. And that's an incredible story. It is a moving story, but not everyone that has an experience like that will make a story out of it. And then the people like us who haven't, I thank God I have the use of both my legs, and I don't have a story like that. I have a story of when I was driving in my car. I have a story of what it was like to change my own tire on the side of the road. I have a story of what it was like to break my leg. Think about all of the things that happened to you. Now, the big traumatic movements, they can be inspirational. If you have that, take the lesson from it and teach that. But more often than not, the stories that you and I have, the stories that the best speakers in the world have, are the mundane. They're the regular everyday things. And those are so potent and so powerful, because how many times have you driven in a car? How many times have you been vacuuming your floor? How many times have you done the same thing that you hear a speaker speak about that is seemingly mundane, but there's fascinating beauty? Just today, I'm standing in my backyard. Right now, we're re-landscaping our backyard. I guess it's not re-landscaping. We haven't finished it yet. And I'm shoveling piles of dirt. And I look over at my son, who's 2.5. And I've got this hose nozzle on, and he's drinking from the hose. And it made my day. I was like, I'm raising a 90s kid. Yes, drink from the hose. Be outside in just your diaper, crawl on the dirt piles, get dirty. We're not in front of a screen. And in that moment, I realized that I'm living the life that I prayed for. I'm living the life and I'm giving my kids the life that I hoped to give them. And that story is seemingly mundane, but if you're looking for a story, just look at your own life. Look at the moments that inspire you, and look at the moments that frustrate the crap out of you. Look at the moments that trigger you. And when you can overcome whatever moment that trigger you, whether it be in traffic, or whether it be because you lost the remote to the TV, or whether it be you forgot to take off your socks before you walked outside and now they're wet and muddy. When those little moments trigger you, those are the moments that, if you can learn something from them, now those are the stories that go on the stage.
I agree, because it has to mean something to you first, because then you'll come from a pure place. You don't have to think of the emotion that you need to have. Some people are so systematic with a script. I'm not against certain things being scripted, but they're so systematic that they have to tell themselves, I need to raise my voice here. I need to raise my voice down here. I need to cry. I'm like, why you got to put all the ad libs in it? I'm like, tell the story from a place of truth and authenticity. Just make sure that you're being transparent, because that is what touch hearts. And the heart is the seed of motivation. If you could touch somebody's heart, that will move them quicker than anything that you can think that all scientifically sound, with all these numbers and statistics and all of this. You touch them at the core, at their heart, then they are going to move, and they will never forget you. I tell people all the time, you can be the smartest person in the room, say the most eloquent speech, or teach the most wonderful workshop. But at the end of the day, if you haven't made them feel something, they're not going to remember you. I don't care how smart you is, how many awards you have, how much money, how many commas, zeros in your name. You need to make them feel something. People remember me not because I'm a doctor. Woohoo! Kudos to me, right? Wow. No, they don't remember me for that. They remember me because, number one, my Southern twang. Number two, they say, I don't see it, but they say I'm patient, and they say that I have a way of tenderness that make them feel like they know me. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to duplicate that. I don't know how I do that. That's just me. Okay. And then I like to say some little jokes. Some people sound funny, but maybe one day I'll be a comedian.
Oh, girl, we could go on a whole side tangent about comedy. I'm becoming a student of comedy again. I lost my
love it. I love it. But you just took me on a journey, and you said something that I want to piggyback on from the beginning of our conversation. When you first opened up and told us about that drive in the car, the way that you told the story, I felt like I was in the passenger seat of the car. I was like, I see the bridge in my head. I see the road. I wonder if was any tumbleweeds on the side of the road. My imagination just started going. So be true to yourself. Tell your story and don't be afraid, because 9 times out of 10, there's someone in that audience that can relate, even to your struggle, even to your most embarrassing moment.
Oh yeah.
They can identify. So, you say everybody have a story, and I agree with you, because we all have a story, whether we like it or not. It's not like everybody else on, but hey, it's my story. It's my story. And so let's talk about this fear. So many people have the fear of public speaking. They may have the story, they may have worked on or hired someone to help them actually make it structured so they can actually be able to say the speech the way that they want to say it, be able to have an end result that is beneficial to the audience. I'm not against that. That is something that you need to do, because you just don't need to be just speaking. You need to have some type of purpose. But they have it, they're looking at it, but then they're like, ooh, I don't know about that stage. I don't know, honey. I don't know. So how can we actually help them take all that work that you help them do and get themselves on that stage?
Well, what's the fear? That's the question. Or what are we afraid of?
People be fear of messing up, fear if they're doing it without slides, they scared that they might forget. They might forget they're gonna fall. They might feel like their words are not clear. I mean, how they look, how they sound, they sigh. I mean, it's 1,001 things people get into their head about why they can't do something and why they not good enough. One of mine, see, I put myself on the hot seat quite a bit on this show. Mine was my Southern twang. I hated it. I'm like, it dumbs me down. I just listen. Every time I see people that speak with a twang or they're Southern, we are the butt of everybody's joke on TV shows, the Beverly Hillbillies, you want some pudding, that kind of stuff on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, okay, like I need to change this. But I tell you, boy, once I hit 40, it was something that triggered in me that I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to be who I am. And if you don't like it, scroll up. I'm just not that. And so the very thing that I disliked about myself, or I felt that wasn't good enough, which was my Southern twang, was the very thing that people love about me. The very thing. So I was in my own way all this time, trying to manipulate my voice to sound like everyone else, because I wanted to sound British. Oh. And when I just let go, the very thing that I thought would not help me was actually the thing that catapulted me. All right. And so that was my fear. I'm over it, clearly, but that was my fear. So what can they do? I mean, for me, I just started podcasting, getting on stages, and just being okay with, if I say a word that go around the corner and come back again, I just say that's the essence of the twang, people. Sometimes I say, how you doing? It's long. That's just what we do in the South, okay? And they just start laughing.
Well, you would be, I'm not even kidding you. I'm not kidding with what I'm about to tell you. And I wish that I had magic powers to pull up the doorbell camera from my house to prove that what I'm about to tell you is true. And if my husband was listening, he would be like, yes, this happened. I like to wake up first thing in the morning. I grab a cup of coffee. I go sit, watch the sunrise, and just decompress, recharge before the day starts. That's how I charge my batteries, right? I'm sitting out there one morning. My husband finishes his call. He comes out and sits next to me, which is just pure heaven. And I kid you not. I said, I wish that I could talk like this because I think it's way more fun. And I think I need to move to Arkansas or something because I don't talk like this normal. And if I did, I think it would be great. And I think I just want to be a little Western country girl. Okay. And I almost adopted it permanently. I was afraid I was going to do it wrong. But I wanted your voice.
I did. I wanted yours. So go figure. I wanted yours and you wanted mine. Go figure. We never want what we have. We want something else.
Right. But this is the essence of it is everything that you name that people can be afraid of. Mm-hmm. There's a common denominator and it's self-centered.
Oh, yes. I didn't even realize that.
Right? Everything that you named. What if I fall off the stage? What if I pee my pants on stage? Been there, done that. What if my clothes don't look good? What if me? What if I, blah, 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 blah. When you're talking to your best friend and you're sitting over dinner, or maybe you run out and you were able to grab a lunch break and make that in your schedule. Are you worried about how you're going to look when you're talking to your best friends? Let's take it up a notch. Let's just say your kid or your mom or someone that you love, they ask you for help. Are you worried about what your lipstick looks like in that moment? Are you worried about, is your underwear on backwards in that moment? No, we're not worried about that because we're taking care of them. My cup is so full that it's overflowing and I can take care of somebody else right now. And that's what the stage is. We're only on stage, or we ought to only be on stage when our cup is so full. We've got something to teach. I can't keep it inside. I'm going to spew it out. I'm going to share it out. There's so much in me. I just want to share it with everybody. And I'm not worried about what I look like. I'm not worried about what I sound like. You know what I'm worried about? Them. I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about the people that are on this podcast who are sitting in the sauna, because that's where I listen to my podcast. I'm worried about the people that are taking their walks right now that are listening to your show because they have felt the kick in the chest and they know there's something else is out there. And my biggest worry is, are they going to walk away with something that is going to make their day better before they go to bed? I'm worried about the people that got a babysitter to come to my event who asked for time off work. I'm worried about the guy who their boss threatened them with their job if they came to my event. They said, screw you, I'm coming anyway. They lost their job and they spent their last dime to get there and they can't afford to buy lunch. And they came to me for help. That's what I'm worried about now. So if you have stage fright, forget yourself and go to work.
All right. So you guys, if you have all those self-limiting beliefs about yourself or all the reasons why you shouldn't thinking about yourself, the best way to get over your fear is think about someone else. You don't even have to think about the entire room. You can think about just one person that you can help that day with what you have to say. What is it? Okay, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be more than one person that you're going to help, because the cool thing about being a public speaker is that you're going to say a lot of different words, but based upon the people in the audience, those words are going to touch them in different ways. I cannot tell you how many times I came off stage and I'm going to be honest, I have ideas of what I want to say when people hire me to come in and speak, but then sometime Holy Spirit get on me and I say something that is completely not on the bullet points. It's just, and so when that moment happens, I don't remember what I said. You know, y'all got to do the replay. I need to do the replay because that was Holy Spirit driven. However, somebody need to hear that, because I don't know what you hope and wish and praying for, but God does. Mm-hmm. He knows. And so he's using people like us to help you with what the gifts, skills, and talents that we have in order to help you get to that next step or multiple steps, depending upon what we're doing. And every single person has always told me something different on what they got from the one thing that I said. And I'm like, wow, like I said that. I said that. I said, I sound real smart. Like, So I'm sure like when I hear what you just said, it moved me because there are people who give their very last. And guess what? Let me give you a little tip. That's became part of your story. How you gave your last to come to see Marianne. And from that, your life changed.
That's your story. That's your keynote.
That's your
right
story.
there.
That's your keynote. Okay, FYI. Because a lot of us have given our last in order for the dream. That's where your story starts. Start from there and build on.
Yeah.
Start from there and build on. If you don't know what to do, but you need to go to her to help you with the structure, because that's not my lane. You know? The hell with that. But anyway, go ahead.
There's a structure to it. Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a blueprint because and the only reason there's a blueprint is the same reason that your favorite movie has a script to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like guidelines and recommendations. It's the reason that the best actors are the best actors was their ability to ad-lib and embody the character that they were becoming. And I'm not sitting here saying, pretend to be someone else on stage. Don't do that. What I'm saying is understand human communication so that what you are saying is translated into what they need. And Holy Spirit has a part of that because they have their messengers and we have our messengers and they're talking to each other. And we might say something, you've thrown away your slides. I've thrown away my slides. Like, this is not what we came here for today. Apparently we're going somewhere else. Right. That's the crux of it is just listen. My choir teacher used to tell me this, listen loudly.
Oh, yes.
Listen loudly. And when you're in a room and you're on stage and you just take a minute and pause and you're silent, watch what happens to that audience. Watch when they lean in. Watch when they put their phones down. Because they're about to have their lives changed and you're going to help.
That is why you should speak. If you guys are wondering what she just said, and if you missed it, rewind it. Oh, I just aged myself. Yes, I'm a 90s girl. Yeah, I'm sorry. But the generation Z's and X and Y's, all you don't know what a rewind is, okay?
Be kind to rewind.
They're like, what that is? Oh, I'm thinking about cassette tape. Just press the little arrow to go back about 10, 12 seconds. I just aged myself. I have to remember they watched it. They're like, well, it's a rewind. But
they'll get it. They'll get it.
Yeah. But go back to what she just said, because that is what changes lives, what she just said. And so go back and listen to that part. So you brought us through your story. You told us when you just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. You also told us about the playfulness of realizing that what you envisioned that started all the way back from that drive in the car up under the bridge, that when you was outside in the yard today, you saw your son just being happy, joyful, and you noticed that he drank from the hose. And then you knew that you was living the life.
That's right.
The sweet moments like that, right? And going through your journey of self-discovery and everything like that, and understanding why you're here, who you are here to help, and making sure that when people pay for access to you, that you're giving them what they paid for, that you are thinking about them and not yourself. And those are qualities of an excellent public speaker. So you help so many industry leaders turn their message into the stage, turn it into something that they can speak on the stage, and so into revenue generating business. So what is the first step that you can give them if they want to monetize their public speaking? What is one tip or one strategy that they can use for today?
Well, here's the thing that most speakers don't consider. First of all, there's two ways to get paid to speak. And now we're going to go technical. So we're going to go left brain here. Plug in your left brain and go with me on this. When you get paid to speak, there's two ways to do it. Number one is you get a speaker fee. This is saying, hey, if you want me to come speak at your event, I'm going to send you a $5,000 invoice, a $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is. Tony Robbins is like a $2 million invoice, right? Because he's a headliner, he's a big name. So you have to know your speaker fee, right? However, made a calculator. It was really cool. So let's just say that you have 12 speaking engagements a year. Okay. And I'm just going to do easy math. Your speaker fee is a $10,000 speaker fee. 10,000. I've got a little notepad in front of me. 10,000 times 12 is $120,000. That's respectable. Right? Now imagine for a moment, you not only knew how to do this, but you also didn't just get paid to speak. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. If I hop on a plane, you pay for my plane, you pay for my hotel, you pay for my speaker fee, I come one and done, and then I'm out. Great. That's all in a good day's work. However, if you only consider that as the way to get paid to speak, you're leaving 60% of your revenue on the table.
Wow.
On the table. You don't access it. So watch this. If you are a speaker who also knows how to provide value after the stage is done, you have something for the audience. And most speakers are entrepreneurs. And so they understand that the audience, if you did a great job, they're going to want more of you. But few speakers, if they start out in just the speaker lane, realize the benefit of creating something that the audience can take home after, whether it's a digital course or whether it's a community or whether it's a training. There's whole gobs of ways to create products and services. But if you know your average dollar value per sale, I'm going to give you some metrics. If you need to write these down, pause and write them down, do it. You need to know your average dollar value per sale, your average cart value. How much does the average customer spend with you? You need to know your closing ratio. So if I go to an event and I put a QR code right there up on the screen, how many people that see that are going to scan it? Okay. That's my conversion. And then I need to know my close ratio. So I need to know how many people scan the code. And then I need to know how many people of the people that scan the code are going to buy something. I need to know how much they're going to spend with me, like we mentioned before. And then I just do the math and they'll say, okay, if I do those same 12 events and there's 1,000 people in each room, I know that 80% of the room is going to at least scan my QR code. I know that 20% of those are going to go through and sign up for my amazing program, that because it's a good fit for them and it will actually serve them. Then I stand to make $600,000 that year from the same stages. And then you can go to those the people that book you and say, hey, my normal speaking fee is $10,000, but if I can give a resource away to your audience, I'll waive my speaker fee for you. That opens the doors to so many more stages if it's something that they'll allow you to do. And most people are like, oh yeah, you're going to give stuff away? Sure. Go ahead. You're going to give them a take home? Yeah, absolutely. There's so many ways to do it. Those are the main two. And then I'll give you one last tip. There's 4 different kinds of stages, and some of us aren't giving ourselves enough credit for the number of stages we've been on. For me, this is a stage. For Tina, this is a stage. She owns the stage. I'm a guest on it. Every podcast that you're on is a stage. Every time you go live on social media, I'm live right now. I'm broadcasting our podcast right now on Instagram, going live. So I'm on 2 stages right now, right? There's 4 kinds of stages. 2 of them are the stages that you own, and 2 of them are the stages that other people own. So now I'm Star Trek, right? I own these 2. She owns these 2. Of these 2, one is physical and one is digital. Same thing on this side. One is physical and one is digital. Those are the 4 different kinds of stages. When you realize all the stages that are available to you and all of the opportunities to convert those stages into revenue that can sustain your business, the world opens up. And I just want to talk to you if your heart is pricked about the money issue. If you have money baggage, like that is preventing you from increasing your speaker fee or preventing you from charging what you think you're worth, listen very, very carefully. Okay. And I know this is a spiritual show, so I'm happy that I can say this here.
Yeah.
The most perfect being in the world had his mission funded. Christ's ministry was a 3-year ministry and he funded it. He didn't ask for money for his miracles. No. But there were people, the women in his life funded his ministry. When he first went to the fishermen and he said, cast your nets on the left side. I know you've been fishing all day. I know you haven't caught anything, but throw your nets on the other side. And they brought in so much fish that their nets broke. Guess what those fish did? They paid for their families and they sold them at the market so that their ministry could be paid for. Your ministry deserves to be paid for. Your message deserves to be compensated. And if you have this weird resistor energy with money, we all have been there, get through it, because you deserve to be paid well and compensated well to do worthy missions. And I'll just say this, if the bad guys are out there making money, who's to say that you can't?
Ooh, now you said a mouthful right there. Yes. And they not afraid to do any, they're not doing anything without comma. They're not doing anything. And so, wow, I don't even know what to say after that. I mean, I'm speechless, and that's very hard to do for me. That's very hard to make me speechless. Okay, let me gather myself together because I can feel that this is going to move so many. Because the current economy that we're having right now is really, really weighing down, not just on entrepreneurs, but even 9-to-5 workers that are not, they don't have the security within their employment like they had before. And so many of them are looking for, okay, maybe I can become an entrepreneur, or get this, I have to do something else in order to survive, because everything is 10x on how much we have to do just to live. And so I can feel that this particular episode is going to be the catalyst to really catapult, to move somebody. I don't feel like it's somebody, I feel like it's multiple people, to get out of that place of quicksand, from feeling like they're drowning, and hearing your story and understanding. I feel like it's going to move them in a different type of way, because it moves me, and I'm already doing what I want to do on assignment. It moving me and make me like, wait a minute, I might need to do a little extra. Like, so it's moving me in a different type of way. And so, you guys, this is the power of public speaking. Everybody has a story. And I would say don't underestimate the power of yours just because, like she said, it don't feel like somebody else's, because it don't supposed to. It's not one size fit all. No, it is your unique story, and your story does matter at the end of the day. You might not think so, but it really does. And so for those who are listening, who feel like they're just one stage away, but don't know where to start, what advice would you leave with them on today on being bold in their story?
I'm going to tell you something that's going to sound so simple. Most people will dismiss it and not do it. But it's a linchpin. It is that the nuclear code is activated with a small key. And I'm about to give you a key that is a nuclear code for you. Go live on Instagram for 2 minutes every day. Just do it. That's a stage for you, by the way. Go live for 2 minutes on Instagram. The best speakers still practice, just like Michael Phelps still practices. The best speakers still practice. This is great practice. And if no one shows up, no one sees you mess up. If 3 people show up, then that's like 3 people walking up to your front porch and listening to what you have to say. But go live on Instagram for 2 minutes every single day. Tag me in it so I can come and like give you some likes and shares and like just help. I want to see you. But turn the camera on. When I go live, guys, I'm in my pajamas. I probably have yesterday's mascara on. It's dripping down my cheeks. I'm going in the yard with my chickens. You're watching the sunrise with me. Like I do this. I go live just about every single day, but I'm going to challenge you to do this for 7 days. Just do it that's like 14 minutes. You can do anything for 14 minutes. 2 minutes every single day for the next 7 days, and just watch what happens. Watch what happens, and then do it again and do it again and do it again. And watch what happens. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Try it.
Listen, I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewing and listening audience? And most importantly, please share with them how you can help speakers.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to give you my phone number, and I want you to just ask me because I have the what's the opposite of a benefit? I don't get to see you right now. If you're listening to this real time today, I don't get to hear from you. And that's my least favorite part of speaking, is when I can't see my audience or when I can't see you. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to give you my phone number, and I just want you to text me. Tell me you heard me on Dr. Tina's show. And I just want you to just share with me a win or ask me a question. If there's anything I can do, I will put a qualifier on it though.
Mhm.
If you're the kind of person that is meant for the stage and you have a mission that I can get behind, a mission that I would be comfortable putting in front of my kids, then let's jam. If you're out there trying to destroy families, I don't want to talk to you. And you don't get my microphone, and you probably don't listen to this show. So this is completely irrelevant. But I want to help those of you who have worthy missions, who have worthy causes. So you're out there to save lives, save families, help these kids with these mental issues that are going and causing havoc in churches and in schools. If you want to do some good and leave a positive mark on the planet, then I want to give you a microphone. So just text me, 801-509-5495, and let's walk you through how to do it. And you deserve to get paid for it as well.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. So go ahead and follow her on all social media, but she on that IG. So go check her out on Instagram on today. This has been just an amazing. I have had many people who are public speakers, but you have indeed taken us on a mental, I would say a mental journey through the lenses. I mean, the way that you told the story, I was able to see what happened, your life and what happened, but I was also able to see in the rear view mirror and on the side a preview of my life, a back end, different things. Like I was seeing all that, because if I could tell you guys anything, start learning how to dream again.
Yes.
You don't have an expiration date on dreams. Who told you just because you're an adult and you have responsibilities, or you have a significant other or children, or let's just say it, bills? I like to say expenses versus bills, but anywho, same thing. Who told you that you don't have the capacity? That you don't deserve. That's the thing, that you don't deserve to dream. My life changed when I gave myself permission to dream again. And I dropped the guilt that was associated with me finally doing what I wanted to do, because I always did what everybody else wanted me to do. I was the best at volunteering, community work, mom, dad, friend, cousin, strangers, help them out, but I did not help myself. So if you don't get anything from what we said today, her life changed when she gave herself permission to dream. And not only dream, but to be in expectation of the life that she wanted to have, with no apologies. You don't have to apologize for wanting to be great, for wanting to be something different than what you were before. You deserve it. Now go out and get it. You're not being selfish. We only have one life. Go out there and make the life that you want to have. And then you'll notice that depression, that anxiety, all them panic attacks you having, all those restless, sleepless nights, gonna start going away, because you're living the life you're supposed to live and not sacrificing yourself in your own life. Most of you are in the passenger side of the car in your own life. No, you're not. You in the trunk. You in the trunk of the car, and somebody else is driving your car, and you wonder why you're miserable. This episode is for you, because I know you're out there. I read the emails. You reach out to me. You cry to me. I'm not going to call your names out, because I don't give that away. But this is your moment. She came for you. I've been telling you this for years, but you need to hear from her. And I know God placed her on this today, because you ain't listening to me, but you're going to listen. You're going to listen to Marianne. You're going to listen to her, because you needed to hear from her lips to your heart at the end of the day. So you can give them your website. I know you said IG, but if you have a website you want to send them to, go
sure,
ahead.
Yeah, go to MarianneHickman.com. Yeah, it's my first name, last name, MarianneHickman.com. Everything is on there. It's all in one place. I'm omnipresent on the internet, whatever you're listening on. I'm on Spotify, I'm on TikTok. I don't always check them, which is why I told you to text me. But I'm everywhere. So if you're even on Twitch, I've never even opened my account, but I'm on Twitch. So for the gamers out there that watch this, yeah, go to MarianneHickman.com. Just send me a text and just tell me that you heard me on Dr. Tina, because I want to know how we know each other. And maybe share with me your biggest takeaway, and then I'll tell Tina about it. It'll be awesome.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on today's show and being a featured guest. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I know that they will too. So you can hold tight backstage. Listen, you guys, speaking of the power of media and everything that Maria was talking about, building that wealth, I collaborated with Kingdom Builders Business University because I believe that we have to get off these islands by ourselves and learn to collaborate with other businesses. And so, I've been saying this for years, but now I am not just saying stuff. I am letting you see it in real action, okay? So for those of you who are following my blueprint, following my example, honey, I tell you to follow Jesus first, but on the side note, you make sure that you come on over to the Media and Wealth Summit in Columbia, South Carolina, October the 11th. This is for the authors, the speakers, the coaches, ones who want a difference in their personal life, ones who want a difference in their business life. I'm going to be telling no holds bars, telling you everything that you need to know about media, along with our amazing speakers, Dr. Nikki Ziegler, who is our visibility expert, Dr. Michael Finkley, which is our branding expert, Shayna Asby, which is our connections expert. She's going to help you bridge personal and business together and being able to communicate properly. Then we have Lee Williams, which is our wealth expert. We have Dr. Mary Hancock, which is our grant expert. Yes, she is going to be giving away some grants right at the event. And also my partner visionary for this event is KB Michelle Green. She is amazing. She has a business university that is helping business owners do business the right way. So come along, see collaboration and affiliation in action, ask the question, touch the hands, and be able to talk and be able to ask those burning questions that you may have in regards to media and also wealth. I must say today was amazing to have Marianne Hickman onto the show. She took you all the way from stage fright to spotlight, baby, how you can transform your story into a six-figure speaking career. And what she just taught, God multiply. So she took you to 600,000, but when God get a hold of it and multiply, honey, you're going to go ahead and cross that 7 figures and beyond, because she gave you the blueprint literally today on this show. So show some gratitude, show some thankfulness, and say thank you. Say thank you to her, because this is what you've been hoping, wishing, and praying for. For those of you who have not downloaded our app yet, go ahead and download our free app. This is our give back to the community, our pay it forward. We do not charge a subscription fee. You will be able to have access to this show, as well as over 30-something other podcasts and TV shows where they're talking about a variety of different topics and subjects, all to make a positive impact in your life, to help you get from point A to point B and to get to what you are purposed to do. On that note, you guys have a great, amazing rest of the day. We'll see you next time, same place. And if anyone didn't tell you this today, that you matter, that you are worthy, I want you to know that you matter, you are worthy, you are valued. And if no one told you that they love you today, guess what? I love you. You know how? Because you're absolutely amazing. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.